Hi guys, this is Sue from Fashion for the Face and welcome back to my channel. As I promised, I'm going to give you an actual demo of this exciting palette that launched for the holidays. And it is the Patrick Ta Holiday Face Palette, which is a limited edition. What I love about this palette is not only does it have his typical cream and powder blushes, but he added some really gorgeous shimmery eyeshadows. So this is a little different. And by the way, I will list and link below the other things that I have on my face, including the eyeshadow from Patrick Ta's Dimension 2 palette. I'm pretty sure it's Dimension 2. So you could see that below. And before we begin, let me just say, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you really love this, give me a thumbs up. And if you have any questions, I love to get questions that I can provide answers to you or things you might want to see in the future. So with that, let us get started. The first thing I did was I broke my arm. And that's the reason you haven't seen me in a little while. Unfortunately, the pole dancing just didn't work for me. And so now I'm in a soft cast. So with that, I elected to do the swatches before I filmed because it's kind of difficult doing it one-handed. And hopefully I'll be able to put on the blushes one-handed. So if you look here, these are the blushes. And what you'll see is this is cream, and it's a very, very light cream. Almost just gives you kind of some wetness to your blush. There's the pink powder. And then these are the darker colors in the blush. That's the cream. And as you can see, that is very pigmented, but don't let it scare you. You can always apply it very light-handed. Now, as far as the actual shadows, I think it'll be easier to show those shadows on my eyes, but there's some gorgeous shimmers, and they don't feel chunky at all. So with that, I'm gonna put one color blush on one cheek, I'll put the other color blush on another cheek, and then I'll start applying the eyeshadows. So the first thing we're gonna dip into is the light blushes. So here we go. Patrick Ta always says that he likes to put the cream on second and the powder on first. A lot of people do it the opposite way, but I'm gonna follow what Patrick Ta does because he knows better than I do for sure. So we're gonna dip into this pink. By the way, there's a lot of kick up in the powder, a lot. So just be aware of that. And then I'm just gonna apply it to my skin. And as you can see, it's a very soft pink. It really is. It's nice for fair-skinned people because they won't be intimidated by it. I think that's lovely. And as I said, you can certainly build it up. So let me just put on a little bit more, stipple it in, and you'll see, that really looks beautiful. Just that hint of pink that's not, you know, too baby doll pink. It's a soft pink. And then with that, I'm going to put his cream right on top. Now, as you can see, it doesn't necessarily give you a lot more color. What I see it doing is just making it more glowy, more radiant. And that is what we've got for the light pink. Again, I think folks who have very light skin can easily use this and keep it as mellow or as bright as you like. Now, for the other one, I will absolutely say this is much more pigmented. So let's see where we go with that. Again, I'm going to tap off the excess, and I'm going to try and go very lightly with this because as you can see, okay, just started putting it on, and right away you can see how much more pigmented it is. But what I love is you can really sheer it out too. And in fact, I gotta say, I think I like that color a little bit better for my skin color. And I think folks that have darker skin, this is going to come across beautifully as well. So let me just add the cream and see what that does for us. Oh, guys. Patrick Ta really knows how to put an eyeshadow together. So as you can see, the thing I like about this palette is you can get two very different looks. The colors are not at all alike. You can see there is a significant difference in the colors. So you can really play around with these. And some people can put the darker one right at the apple or right at the back and the softer one at the front, whatever. You can really play around with this. But that's what his eyeshadows, I mean, that's what his blushes look like. And I gotta say, love them. Now, let's see how we do with his eyeshadows. So let me show you again. The eyeshadows are really beautiful. As you can see, we've got a lovely pink. We have kind of like a goldy bronze. This white is magnificent when it's swatched. And then this one is more of a topper. It doesn't have a lot of opacity to it, but it's gonna be a pretty topper. So why don't I, since I have kind of brown going on here, why don't I start with this goldy bronze? And the question's also gonna be, can I use a brush to get this on my eye, or do I have to use my finger? Sometimes the finger is best when it comes to this. And while I see it with the brush, let's just go ahead and use the finger. Do you see how much more color payoff you get when you use the finger? Oh my gosh, guys, this is beautiful. Let me show you what it looks like. Can you see that? Ugh, it is stunning. And it just really brings color to the eye, don't you think? Love it. Now, let's try the pink on the other eye, because that pink also looks pretty. And again, doing this one-handed, so you'll have to forgive me. And by the way, I'm a lefty, and that's the one I broke. So this is a little trying. Oh, wow. Do you see that? You got a lot of color in this pink as well. Perfect for the holidays, don't you think? Look at that. Wow. I gotta say, I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Now, the other thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try, as I said, there's one that really doesn't have a lot of color to it. So I think it's more a topper. So let's just see what that topper does for the back here. Yeah, it just adds a little more sparkle, a little more excitement to your holiday look, you see, which is lovely. And in order just to bring it completely to closure, I'm going to try and add some white just to the corner, just so you could see what that white is like. Oh, wow. Do you see? There is so much pigment in that one too. I just, you know. Yeah, I like it a lot. It probably would be a good corner color, or maybe even a color that you can use to kind of highlight your brow bone. Yeah, that's actually even nicer. Highlight the brow bone, right? Again, I definitely would not put all these colors on my eye at once, but I will say you could have a lot of fun with this palette in light of all the options you have. So, obviously, I bought it with no content creators commenting. I got it as soon as it went up on Sephora. And if I'm not mistaken, it's $65. But if you care to wait until the end of October, Sephora is going to have their semi-annual sale that will give you at minimum 10% off if you're a Beauty Insider, up to 20% off if you're a Rouge member. So no cost to join, and why wouldn't anybody want to have a little extra off, particularly when you're buying an expensive palette? So with that, I hope it was helpful to you. I hope you got a good understanding of what's in this palette. All I can say is I know I'm going to be reaching for this palette a lot. So with that, have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.